is your top. We're going to talk about WWE's countdown top 10 greatest high flyers of all time. Of course, on our show, we do it. We talk about it and we share our responses on who we think should be up there, who shouldn't be, who we should add. If you agree with us or think we should send us a tweet or visit our website at WrestlingAttitude.com. And actually, there's a poll there now of who's the greatest high flyer of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, it is a tie between Jeff Hardy and Lita.
That's not fair.
I know it breaks your heart.
Yeah. It's like this is like splitting the Hardy Boys up.
There was one vote for Austin Aries.
Oh, wow. Austin Aries made the list.
Well, let me tell you what's on the poll. I'll tell you real fast. I got Rey Mysterio, RVD, Eddie Guerrero, John Morrison, of course, Hardy and Lita, Sabu, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Ricky Steamboat, Seth Rollins, Scott Steiner early days, not later.
Wow.
Hey, back in the early days, man, we'll talk about that more.
Yeah.
Austin Aries, Daniel Bryan, Chris Benoit, Evan Bourne, Paul London, Billy Kidman, Sankara, Ultimo Dragon, and Shawn Michaels.
Wow.
So you can go to WrestlingAttitude.com and vote on any of those people you want to. Of course, tomorrow we will have a new poll up, so go vote tonight or today. Next week's poll will be, this is going to be a good one. Mike will be here next week. I can't wait to hear his responses. Is the top 10 wrestling finest ring gear of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he'll be number one, so we'll see. But next week, that's next week's top 10. Let's get to this week's.
So
go ahead.
When you think of high flyers, 'cause I want to bring this up. So because me and James were talking about this before, is that WCW used to not let you go to the top rope. It was
Bill Watts
fined.
Bill Watts would not let you climb past the second turnbuckle.
So high flyers were not big in the 80s. Well, they weren't. They
you
weren't
still
known.
had some. No, you still had some because you got to remember Superfly Snuka. Scott Steiner was a kind of high flyer because he did the Frankensteiner.
But it's not like today, like everybody goes to the top rope. Nobody went to the top rope, not many. So when you saw it, you were like, whoa, I'm amazed.
Well, the time has changed.
Yes.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka is the first one I remember jumping off a cage. And, that's an iconic part of wrestling history. That's what a lot of people remember.
And he'll go down in history for that moment. He will.
Yeah, absolutely, he should. There's not a lot of, back then there wasn't a lot of people doing that. So,
no.
It's very rare to see it. Nowadays, you see it every other place. You see somebody jumping off a ladder, building, trying to outdo what people did. Yeah. Outdo what they did before in the past.
Gosh, yeah.
But this week, we got top 10. We'll talk about top 10, and then we'll add maybe some other people we'll mention. Number 10. I wish JP could stay because I did not like this list at all.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
Number 10, Seth Rollins. All right, listen. I am the biggest Seth Rollins fan in the world.
It's true.
You ain't going to find me. On this show, I'm definitely the biggest fan on the show. I love the guy's work. I love everything about him. But no way in the world do I put him number 10 on any list right now. Way too early in his career to put him number 10.
Well,
what this looks like to me is people don't actually see the other people that are on this list that should be ahead of him right now.
What they didn't do right was is that if you talked about Seth Rollins' early career, and by early career I mean his indie work.
Dude, he's still early career is my point.
But if you would have talked about his indie work where he actually did a lot more high-flying stuff than he did before he went to the WWE, I'd be okay with it. But they're only talking about the stuff that he did in the WWE, and he's only been in the WWE for about a year.
He's been he's in NXT before.
But they didn't
that.
even talk about NXT.
But no, they're talking about Seth Rollins, not Seth Rollins Indie, not Seth Rollins NXT. They're talking
Seth
about
Rollins.
Combined.
Yeah,
they're talking about all of it. They are the WWE Universe is probably talking about everything of it. Just my point is, it's too early, and there's a lot of other guys that probably should be on this list before him.
No,
and we'll talk about it some more when we get down past number one.
That's the universe, man. That's the universe.
I agree. It's the universe. I don't know if I agree with him being number 10, but we'll go back to it. Who we disagree, whatever. But his future is bright, and he's going to be in another year or two. Dude, he's going to be on most top 10s of most things you do. We'll see, though.
We'll talk about that later.
But thank you for telling me that. But yeah, number 10 was Seth Rollins. We'll talk about it some more later. Number 9, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Definitely deserves to be up here.
No, I agree with that.
We ain't moving him yet, so
yeah, we haven't seen the rest, but I still believe that's way too
low.
Yeah,
okay. Well, we'll talk about
Ricky.
He in WCW, he's really one of the first guys to really start doing that stuff off the top rope.
And he's
that I remember.
Who's one of the first guys to do off a reversal with the arm, like basically taking your whole weight and flipping you over. Like
that's an arm drag, though.
But they call it the Ricky arm drag. No, but they talked about it on the High Flyers. They call it the Ricky arm drag because he actually elevated himself with. I mean, it was a high flying type move. Okay. Is what they said.
Listen, there's high flying type moves like the Frankensteiner was one. Oof. Yes, Ricky Dragon, did that type. But to me, Ricky Dragon. Cross body splashes were great. Yeah. And that was high flying to me.
And he came out looking like a dragon too.
Yeah. Which was well, I'm glad that caught your attention. Number 8 is I'm not gonna say it, genocidal, whatever. Sabu. Sabu's number 8.
Sabu.
And one of our listeners, I know Mr. Bryant would love this that he's number 8. I don't agree with this. And I wish JP was here to back me up on this. But number 8, the reason I don't like him being in the top 10 is all the times he missed to doing a move. Now, if you count it out of 10 times, he probably missed that move 6 times, maybe 8.
That's why I love Cody Rhodes said it the best. He was talking about him once, and he goes, I loved watching Sabu. He said 50% of the time he hit it, and 50% of the time he did not hit it. But he says he was the best, worst high flyer in his opinion because you never knew when he was going to hit it. And when he did, he hit it big. That's the thing.
Like he hit tables and stuff. But
that's why I like him because Sabu was like the real type of high flyer. Like he didn't always hit it. So you were like... So every time you were surprised. You were surprised when he hit it because you didn't know. And he took a beating on his body. I don't know how the guy is still alive from
still wrestling too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about if we think I understand why he's up here because I'm surprised the WWE Universe actually voted for him to be in top 10, but we'll talk about it some more. Number 7, Eddie Guerrero. Listen, the frog splash alone puts him on this list.
Yeah.
One of the and I love listening to CM Punk talk about him, is one of the not just the greatest high flyers, top 5 wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, just the things he did early on and later on in his career. He made everybody look good.
Yeah, think about his stuff in ECW and WCW. He did a lot of high-flying stuff there. He did.
He did. And he kept it up in WWE when he won the WWE belt against Brock Lesnar.
And I love why he did the frog splash. He said that he did it like one of his buddies did a splash. He did just a 5-star or a regular splash, and he said it looked like a frog.
I will tell you, this is, to me, he should be, we'll talk about it later, he should be higher up because I know I would pretend to do the frog splash. It's so funny, dude. I mean, we would be at the lake and we would jump off the pier, and I would do the frog splash. So people loved it when I did it. But, it's an iconic thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loved doing the frog
everybody
splash.
knows that frog splash. They're like, oh, that's Eddie Guerrero. Everybody knows that guy.
Number 6 is Jimmy Superfly Snuka, like we talked about earlier, on top of the cage. Definitely needs to be up here.
Mick Foley went to that event, if you remember correctly. He was just a baby boy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Number 5 was RVD. Definitely deserves to be up here. One of the best high flyers of all time.
Next.
Man, come on. You cannot knock RVD. Not for his stuff now. He's still good, but
RVD 420? That RVD? Or
hey, when he was in ECW and he went to WWE, he was great, dude.
Yeah, he was.
And the matches him and Jeff Hardy had, and
I have to admit, the stuff him and Sabu had, like him and Sabu
in ECW, those were great.
Holy man, like they were bloody and high flying at the same time. I was like, ooh.
Number 4, I hate this one. Number 4, John Morrison.
You don't want to be part of the John Morrison train, part of the Starship Bane.
He did some amazing stuff. I'll give him that.
The man's career was made after Jim Morrison, the man who started the Doors. They said, oh, you look like Jim Morrison, so we'll call you John Morrison.
One of the coolest entrances of all time. I will give him that.
What, because of Melina or because of
the hair? Had the slow-mo hair.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Melina,
No. Come on, dude. Number 3 is Lita, the only woman on this list.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that one. I'm surprised they put her in the, like, I thought she would have her own category just because Lita made stuff a lot different. Like, she was, for a woman wrestler, she did stuff that nobody used to do.
The thing about this list is Lita's number 3, and Lita deserves to be number 3.
Oh, no, she does.
I can almost make her being number 1.
Yeah.
But she deserves to be up in the top 5 of any wrestler. Doesn't matter, female, male, whatever. She, like you said, she did different stuff. She deserves to be up here.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Jeff Hardy. Come on, go ahead. Sing his praise.
Yeah.
Sing his praise.
Come on.
Dry hump a C.
Come on. Put up the Hardy Boy music. Come on. Dun, 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 dun.
No, I hear it enough on your opening.
All right, here's the thing with Jeff Hardy, man. I mean, come on, think about it. When you were, I don't know how old you were when WrestleMania 17 came out, but you got to admit, that was a big, when you saw him and Jeff Hardy, his brother, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys, that was one of the best matches, right? I mean, that was the match of the night at WrestleMania. For me, it was. I'm
not going to say it's a match of the night. It was one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah.
And one of the best matches of all time.
Yeah.
Because you talking about WrestleMania 17. I'm sorry. Stone Cold versus The Rock kind of trumped that one.
Yeah.
No offense. That was, to me, that was the best WrestleMania of all time. One of the best because you had Triple H versus Undertaker. The first time,
I forgot about that.
There was so many. Yeah. You had the Gimmick Battle Royal. You had so many great matches.
Brought back Bobby Heenan and Gene Okerlund for the first time in a long time.
But the point with this is, yes, this was one of the best matches of all time.
Oh, yeah, that's when Shane McMahon and Mr. McMahon fought. Yeah.
There were so many great matches.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about Shane in a few minutes, actually.
Yeah.
But this was one of the best matches of all time. And Jeff Hardy, not just him. I mean, you had Edge and Christian. You had the Dudleys.
And you had his brother. Matt Hardy.
Yeah, okay. You had him doing something stronger than death. Yes, you had him.
He can slap a tornado.
And he dry hump a sea, but it's okay. But anyway, we had Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, I think for his work when he went away from the Hardy Boys, he was better. It made him better.
Well, I know
because
how much
he, jumping off the top of the Titantron, doing different things. Him and CM Punk, the matches they had.
I was about to say, I know how much of a CM Punk fan you are.
Yeah.
You have to admit, some of the best stuff CM Punk did was with Jeff Hardy.
It was definitely with Jeff Hardy.
Oh, my God.
And they had a great rivalry. But Jeff Hardy definitely deserves to be top 3. I don't have a problem with him being up here.
I believe that, yeah.
Number 1. I wish JP was here. He would love it.
He's right there.
Rey Mysterio, 619.
Oh.
Listen, I say what you want about Rey Mysterio. I don't have a problem with him being number one. Why? Because you got to remember what all he's done. Or is most wrestling fans maybe he's not as good as he once was? Of course not. But when he was wrestling, you got to see what he did. This